The first discussion point of the first edition of Wendie Webfest in Hamburg. Welcome all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here for the panel now. And we'll just start with you presenting who you are and your festival and engagement in the web series scene in general.
So good afternoon, guys. My name is Michael. I'm based in Ireland now for many years. I'm French, and last year I set up the first Dublin Webfest as the first Irish celebration of online storytelling, because I think it's the way to go now.
Hi, my name is Joël. I'm French, living in Germany. I am the editor of Web Series Mag and the founder of Web Series World Cup.
Hi, my name is Meredith. I'm the founder and director of Webfest Berlin. We just had our second edition last weekend, yeah, here we go for number 3. Super congratulations to Wendie Webfest Hamburg. So excited to be here.
Me too. Just before Berlin Webfest. My name is young man Kang, Korean American. Korean American, whatever. Korean. Either way is fine. And K-Webfest just finished second year. Then congratulations, you guys. Great. So.
Hi, I'm Rosa Dost. I'm one of the 2 founders of Bilbao Webfest. Oliver is sitting there. And our festival will take place for the second time in the end of October. We have a lot of screenings in common with Wendie Webfest. So we want to congratulate all the creators that are here in Wendie and that are also in Bilbao.
So as we heard, you all started a Webfest, and I think every Webfest is in its second edition right now. Yeah, I'm right with this. So it's a very, you can see it's a very new format. Maybe it's not that new. I think Joel knows more about its history of a web series in general. But explain to us, I know we would start at the very basics, because I think there's some audience here that might not know what the whole web series scene is about and wants to get a bit deeper into that. So please explain to us what made you start this festival, what are the specifics about the medium web series, what's different and what's new, and why is it important that we have all those web fests all over the world and collaborate in this?
Well, once upon a time there was cinema, then television came, then television people were taking over the business, and cinema people were saying, no way, this is a disaster, this is going to be the end of the world, the end of our companies, and it wasn't. So what happened? The World Wide Web started existing, and then it got better, and we could actually transmit video, and then everyone is now saying, oh my god, they're all moving to the web, and there's no television and cinema left, but it's not that way. So I think all media should coexist, and we just want to give awareness to the new creation, to the, like you say in K-Webfest, the new wave that is coming, the new kind of creation. You don't have to be linear, you don't have to be something that is a format which is really closed. Like, for example, a movie, it has to be 90 to 200 minutes, and it has to be like this and this and this. But the liberty of creating something which is really open, and you can choose whatever you want to do. So that's what we want to highlight in Bilbao. We want to highlight talent, we want to highlight the new form of storytelling.
Good. 2013, I was in LA, make a feature film, and I kind of discovered LA Webfest. They're doing some small web series festival, so I want to check it. And I submit my own web series. Then they are like, I will watch it, other guys' web series for the first time. Also experience, what's the web fest. So then, surprised award show, like over 1,000 people hold the award ceremony, and then I look around and I'm the only Asian guy. I'm the only Korean. There's no one. So, and the festival director approached me. Like, oh, you come from Korea? And yes. And you guys making any web series? And of course we are making web series, but it's called a web drama. And then, I mean, there is not even one single web series from Korea, no from China, none of them from Asian countries. I think only a couple of from Singapore. Singapore they're a different city. Singapore more like international. So then I thought maybe what's wrong with the internet? I mean, I thought internet is like open for everybody, but still I felt there's a huge wall between Western and Oriental. Right? So I think someone got to break that wall. Like East and West Germany. Right? You guys break the wall. I really envy when I saw the wall. Like I'm thinking like when we can do North and South Korea, we have a wall. When we could break down. Probably maybe web series maybe. So then I decided maybe I can maybe set up the Webfest in South Korea. That's why I brought Webfest. And around that time we are making a lot of web drama, and then most of them romantic comedy. Then they're pretty good. I mean, there's something like budget. I mean, there's two kinds of production. One is really low, like shooting with a smartphone and amateurish, like some college. And then other than that, other like production values, like the expensive, high. Everybody using like 4K camera and then, like 20 crew and like almost like cinema quality of a look. Also the actor, not like really high level, but like almost A level. Also some actors like K-pop stars attached in the project. So it's like, wow, it's getting huge. Then even like there was a couple years ago, and then even this year is amazing. Like we selected 40 only for Korean like 40 web series, and half like 50% of the major like K-pop star attached all the project. Also there's like 10 branded web series, really good budget. So yeah, we are doing really well. So some production also with the Chinese people, and then also we have some general audience coming, and now they know what's the web series. So actually I think we have a good hope, and good thing about all the young people, they don't have TV, in their studio. So like so many the apartments, small like studio style, then they don't have a TV, and then everybody they watch smartphone. Also, they're not eating with the family. Everybody eating by themselves. Actually, while they're eating, they watch smartphone. So see, it's perfect time. We need a web series, So I think really good hope.
So, sorry, Yang, what you're saying is that it's important for web series to really function on a small screen, that you can watch it on the walk, on your smartphone, or at home, but on the devices you have anyway. Do you think there should be other standards as well that make web series successful, or how do you think a web series should be created ideally?
I don't know if it's successful or not. We are still trying to figure it out, Still like a lot of people, like over 10 million people live in Seoul, and then still like a small portion of only a few people watch web series while like, especially on the subway. I mean, have you been in the Seoul? Anyone? Yeah. When you get in the subway, I'm not lying. When you get in subway, everybody like this, like they don't care. They just watch smartphone. You saw it, right? Yeah. But sad thing is, right? I hope everybody watch web series, but it's not. I mean, a lot of people watch. Are you guys familiar with comic book? They call the webtoon. Exactly same like web series style, each episode, but not movie. It's a comic book. It's a drawing. It's a like webtoon. It's 10 times bigger than web series, Korea. So they have money. Also government fund huge. That's why next year maybe I'm trying to maybe expand my Webfest, maybe K-Webfest and Webtoon. So that way I can borrow some money from them because they have money. Then I can a little bit bigger. That one is possible. Also other Chinese also. They have a web series but a little longer. Chinese web series like 45 to 60 minutes. But they watch a lot of people. It's like if you're some popular, then at least like 10 million. 1 million views, nothing. If you say like tell them 1 million, don't say that. At least like a 10 million or 100 million, then you can talk to them. So 1 million is nothing. So
web series, webtoons, web novels.
yeah, even the web novel. Yeah.
Telling stories in a serial way. Via digital.
Also adaptation. So you guys have a hope maybe it's called adaptation might be huge. So from the webtoon and we'll buy the story then make into web series. Even also web novel. Also they're reading one web novel inside the subway, like also episode of the series. Then if they like the story, then they're gonna buy it. Then they're gonna change it into web series. Also Chinese actually they're coming to Korea often too. Looking for storyline. So I mean, I don't know. You guys maybe try.
Maybe
That's the only thing I can say.
Let's hear some other ideas. Meredith, your initial ideas for starting this platform for web series creators.
My background, I'm clearly not German. I was born in Texas, and then I spent the best. But I spent 10 years in New York City working, producing commercial photo shoots, and then commercials, and then was working in reality TV for a few years, and it was just kind of soul-sucking. Kind of by the end I was like, okay, I'm ready for something different. I moved away and I came to Berlin. And was just first arrived there, helping out wherever I could, seeing what productions were going on. And there was a web series shooting called Mission Backup Earth. And so I just was helping manage their live action shooting that they're doing there. And that show went on to win the Grand Jury Prize at the Melbourne Webfest, which meant that it got automatic entry into the Marseille Webfest and the LA Webfest. And so I started to follow around and start digging into this and see what was going on and what was happening at these places. And the creator of the show, Alex Vander, he came back from LA and he said, this guy in LA, he said Berlin might be a good place for this. You should come to Marseille when that happens. And so I started looking around some more, and then I went to Marseille and hearing the conversations that were happening and meeting the creators and seeing the shows that were being made. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. It felt like Berlin was a perfect place for this. There's such a mix there, especially in the startup world as well, and everyone's got a new app, a new streaming platform. There are creators all over the place. Everyone's making something, everyone's doing something, everyone's collaborating together. And so I thought, this is a good place to be, and something that I really feel passionately about, to stand behind and to put these shows up on an international platform and say, hey, look over here, look what's happening. This is great content that's out there, and now let's get it out there and get it seen. That was kind of the initial, for the first year, that was the goal. And then since then, an industry's really started to grow around it. We started to realize, okay, wait a minute, this is actually, people want all of this content, all of these startups, all the brands that are moving, they're starting to see the value in this also. So let's make this push. Last year we saw how we could connect people, and there were collaborations that came out of it, and even a few distribution deals. And then this year we really thought, hey, let's push it even further. How can we get as many buyers as we can get in the room, and as many creators to meet them, and to get everybody together and figure out how to move forward? Because I think that is kind of everyone's question is, what do we do now? You know, how does the industry go? How do we make money from this? How is it not just a hobby? You know, how is it not just a calling card to get on TV? And how do we use this to tell whatever stories that you want to tell and to get it out there in whatever format you want to get it out there in a way that then, you know, that can support yourselves and to keep making and to keep creating. So that's, we're still trying, we're still pushing.
Berlin Webfest just happened last weekend, and you managed to bring quite a number of people from the industry in your festival. Maybe you can tell us more about how this worked out, if talks were successful, and how you managed to do this anyway, how you can approach those people.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm just a little bit of that crazy person that's kind of stalking people, looking up people online, finding them on LinkedIn, pushing, don't you want to come here? Whoever I can meet, you know, to tell them, you know, this is the place to go, because also a lot of the networks aren't really sure about how to proceed, you know, what they should be doing with their streaming platforms and what to do. And so if we can all get in the same room together and figure it out together, I think that's the best way to go. And I think that, you know, we had some really interesting panel discussions in Berlin last week. We had a great discussion about the German web series Past, Present, Future. I realize that's quite broad. But the conversation was really interesting and got a bit heated at times. And, you know, there's a lot of things that play there, a lot of things that work. There's government funding that's starting to come, but it's slow, and creators wonder, why isn't it coming to me, and why does it seem like it's just going to established production companies? And I think that they're hearing that also, and the networks are hearing that, and they're working, and that they know that they need to figure out some way or their business models together so that the independent creators can get their work out there, and that the industry can continue to grow. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that we came up with the answer last week, but I think we opened up a lot of conversations that weren't previously open and weren't being had all together in the same room. So hopefully it's a jumping off point. I know a lot of the people that were there have, you know, come back to me afterwards and said, you know, this was really great. It was really eye-opening. I think it was nice to kind of get people's attention that this is happening, and that the quality of the work out there is so high, and really worth, you know, working together and working with to tighten up these funding models and figure out how to move forward together. That's all.
So, for me, web series were and are still a very intimate part of my life. I have been a writer for television and a producer for television for 25 years, French television, European television, and I had this 40 years old crisis when I thought that maybe I should do something useful in my life, and instead of damaging kids' brains all day long, which I did. And I probably damaged your brain also. So I started to write about TV series. It was the beginning of the série mania, the people getting interested in TV series. And I opened the blog on the newspaper Le Monde in France. It was specialized in analyzing the history of commercial television. But the thing is, I always followed what was happening on the net. In 1999, I was one of the few people watching Godam George Nicor program on the net, even if it was taking like hours to download. And after that, I was so enthusiastic that I founded what I wanted to be the European Icebox. It lasted for 6 months. I'm very proud of that. And so I was always following what was on the web. And while writing on series, I found out that there were a lot of things popping up on my screen that were web series and web series and web series. And I mean, in 2012, 2013, it would happen like 20 times a year that I would see a web series, a show, and click on it. And then in end of 2013, it was already 50 or 60. I mean, it was kind of a daily experience for me to click on something while I was scanning the net to find information for my blog. And at the time, I was already on Libération.fr. And so I talked to the guy and I said, I would like to have a blog solely dedicated to web series. They said, oh, no, 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 no. And I said, oh, yes, 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 yes. And they said, oh, no, 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 no. And I said, I'm quitting, I'm quitting, I'm quitting. So they said, okay, try it. And I opened it in March 2014, Web Series Mag. And so the goal of Web Series Mag, it was important for me to be on Libération because I wanted to put web series in the daily life of people. I wanted really to have a web series not in a ghetto or on a special website, but I wanted to be web series part of the normal life. I mean, and when people were just reading the paper, the online version of the paper could also have access to quality entertainment or different entertainment that they could directly click and access and watch and enjoy. And right now I must say that Libération are very, very proud of this blog, even if they still are not paying me for that, but it's okay. And but really, what makes me happy is that it's a very selfish thing. That yes, I wanted to give back. I wanted to make something useful of my life, and this is what I'm doing now because this blog became very influential, not only in France but in Europe and even all over the world. And I really have the feeling that I am helping each time I am speaking about a show, and this makes me very happy. This makes me very happy. And I also created the Web Series World Cup. It was for another reason. It's because everybody was keep telling me, so what should I watch? What should I watch? Well, first of all, you should read my blog. You don't, you can't, I don't know. So I was thinking, you know, in the 50s, what worked very well was this top 10, top 50, that it really pushed that the pop culture, the pop music. So I was thinking, yeah, I should create something like that, but I would like something not so subjective, not the top 10 of what I like, or not the top 10 of the most successful series. So I thought, you know, I should just list the most awarded web series in the world. And this, this is the whole Web Series World Cup works. It's just you participate. I mean, it's totally free, and I'm just counting the points there and giving the audience a list of the most awarded show. I mean, this is a way for the people to relate to that and say, look, if it is the most awarded show, maybe you should have a look at it. And it's working very well. I'm very happy with that because it works for the audience. There is a reference where they can go and find the 400 most awarded shows in the world this year, but also it works for the press. The press also, instead of just bothering me, asking for a list, they can have this list directly on the web and they can see it by themselves. And also it works for the creators. This is something that they can bring back. This is something that they can tell the people. They can tell, look, it's not only that my show has been awarded there, but look, in the end, this year I made this. I mean, I was one of this show, and this is very important. And also for this Webfest, I thought that it's a pity that the Webfest only lasts for 2 days, and we forget about that. But what Webfest are doing is something for the entire year. So the Web Series World Cup is to help first recognize this Webfest, tell the creators this Webfest exists, go there, submit your job there, but also to remind people that it has a value, it has and what is awarded, it's not, we are not awarding our friends, we are awarding really the most quality shows that are selected in this Webfest. Yeah.
So, your establishment of it is okay. The other one is much louder. That's why I'm always confused. Sorry. Your establishment of the web series, Mark, was about looking for alternatives. That's what I heard from this. Not only for one thing, for your life, obviously, but for the other, also for ways of receiving like audiovisual popular culture, finding the alternatives that are obviously there. So how are your idea about this being different? Have web series to be different from what we have already on TV? Should they do something differently in a specific way? Why is it important that we know all these series that are out there and that were produced independently, most of them?
You know, I like this question because I was the one saying, well, yeah, you should watch web series because they are different, because it's a different entertainment, and I'm not saying this anymore. I want to say right now, it's the perfect entertainment for the 21st century. I mean, most of the population is living in cities right now. We have a lot of young audience between 20 to 40 years old. You have kids, you have a job, you are entering this life, and you cannot anymore watch 10 series a year. You won't go to cinema 50 times a year just like you were when you were a kid. You cannot spend all night playing your video game because you have kids to go to school and you have a job. And now there is this new entertainment that is really perfect for this century. It's web series. And web series are not there to replace movies, to replace TV. Web series are there to give you your dose of entertainment that you deserve, that you want to have during the day, without making concession on your daily life. You can still party, you can still read a book, you can still go out, watch film, have a lot of experience, and still enjoy an entertainment that, in the end, you will find out is pretty different. But first of all, it's a perfect entertainment for this century. Yeah.
So yeah, like the new form of entertainment, definitely. My background myself is film studies, so university watch like the classics, obviously the films, and then I was at the film school in Paris, and obviously you do short films, and then I discovered like online on YouTube one British series, Threesome, and then I said, wait a second, you know, like Godard, Fritz Lang, of course, everybody loved them. Everybody loved their work, but now, like 21st century, how many times do you spend, you know, on your phone watching content, and how many times a week you go to the movies? And I was like, I'm going to the movies like maybe once, twice a week, maybe, you know. But how many videos do I watch per day? Like it was like 5 or 10 videos per day. So then, you know, I discovered that the web series form would be the 21st century form, yeah. Like before we got theater, then cinema. And then I remember one anecdote, like when I was studying, one man, like, you know, he was in Paris, so the Lumiere brothers just created the cinematograph. And so basically they were like setting up a piano bar and a screen. It was at the end of the 19th century. And like one guy passed by the bar and didn't want to get into the screen. And like one guy said, oh, what is that? No, it's a new form of entertainment. This is, and Lumiere Brothers said, yeah, it's cinema. It's like moving pictures with a piano, and you can enjoy, you know, the moving pictures. And he said, no, you're gonna last, you know, maybe a couple of years, but you're gonna die very soon. So basically, afterwards, you know, people get into cinema, and then the television arrived, and now, like, it's not because, like, as you said, like, you know, it's not because you read a book that you don't go to the movies. It's the same thing as, you know, if you watch Netflix, it means, you know, you like series. And basically, talking about Netflix, it's a very good brand for you know, pitching what is a series, because people like keep asking me, and like all my colleagues here, like, you know, saying like, what is a web series? And basically, like, I was, you know, like I said, it's a series. Yeah, the web is a format, is the platform, is YouTube or Vimeo most of the time. And then I said to some people, I said, listen, like when you watch Taxi Driver on the big screen, you enjoy, yes. When you watch very good TV shows like The Office from Jerry, do you enjoy? Yes. And do you see the difference between the form, between the TV format and the film, feature film form? Yes. And then suddenly House of Cards came out, and like House of Cards was like the perfect cinematic series. So like now, because everybody watches content online and we have different platforms and VOD's business is going up as well. So I think like we are responsible, all of us, to educate, not to educate, but to point out that the new way of entertainment, the wave or the digital, series are a way to go. Even like if you have the money one day, to make a feature film, please do make a feature film. If you want to make documentaries, again, like do make documentaries. But I think like most of the time, you spend some time on the phone, and digital content is not only about cats videos and porn. There is something in between. So it's like you have great shows in between.
So cats videos online are cats videos online, and a TV series you watch online is not a web series, it's a TV series you watch online. Almost have done that. So I think this one goes to Rose first, because you have a very special concept for this year Bilbao Webfest. You have 2 categories for your selection, and I heard from it that it's kind of about the budget, but not really. Maybe you could explain us those categories, because then we can dig deeper into this whole indie thing. Well, it's Wendie, web and indie, and it's hard. Opinions like grow apart sometimes what this indie means, especially if you're talking internationally. But I'll leave the microphone to you.
Well, when we created Bilbao Webfest, we were wondering how many web series should we take. So this is a very difficult question, and each festival decides to do something different. And in our case, we decided to split it into official selection and a second selection we called Amit. Amit is a Basque word, and it means dream. So our idea was to showcase like those series that have like a really high quality in our official selection, and those that normally have a bigger budget. Not always, not necessarily, but of course it's easier to make official selection if you have a very high budget, and then your sound is going to be all right, your image is going to be all right, your production, and everything will have like the quality. There's actually some people in this room who are or were in our official selection and don't have that much money. So I mean, it's not always a matter of the budget, and the people who make it being an independent series should be really happy about it, because it's much more difficult. But because we are only choosing 30 series in our official selection, we wanted to open it out to all these creators that are doing something really original, or having a wonderful script, but maybe they don't have the budget for it, or there's some amazing acting, or there's like a great directing, but there's maybe something that's not like production-wise not that great. So we want to give all these creators a chance as well. And there's also awards in the second category. So this year we decided to go further and say, oh, there's so many other people seeking for production. And that's why we created the market part, and we also received quite a lot of projects. And now we're trying to, like, I think in the same direction of every other Webfest, we're trying to get producers, get distributors interested in the web series and get them together with the industry to see like how to work out and how to work together, and how one can work with another. Because when I speak to producers, I tell them, okay, so you have all these creators with wonderful creations, and they're willing to give it away for like a very like cheap amount of money compared to other media. So I'm sure you will be interested in at least speaking to them and seeing if you can come to a conclusion. And if not, at least you will have learned like there's all these other things going on you might be interested in. Maybe not now, maybe in the future, but there's a whole world out there, like a digital world with a lot of great independent and maybe not so independent creators. We had this discussion in Bilbao, like what is independent, what is a web series? Should it be called original series? Should it be called independent series? Just series? Digital series, online series, and it's always hard. It's always hard, and it's where you put the focus. We don't separate it in independent and not that much, but of course, almost every web series creator is independent. So that's what we want to support.
Most of the times, most of the web-series creators are independent, like necessarily because the production background is just that you had to do it yourself to make it happen. But what would you say, what does mean not so independent? Do you think that independent has anything to do with the budget, or how would you differentiate between independent or not so independent?
I think we can do a panel on what is independent.
The expert now.
But I would say independent means you follow your own idea, what your gut tells you is the best way to go. It doesn't matter if it's something you think might be really commercial or maybe just not commercial, and then you just love to do it and you just do it and don't think about it further. I really think there's like a very fresh thing in web series, and there's so many stories being told that I haven't seen on other media, and that's what I love about it. And we always discuss about like, should we put for example, like I am actually so happy there's some not so independent series popping up, because that means like some people are being picked up by television. There's series from Arte TV, there's series from like different like platforms like Canal Plus or Studio Plus. There's starting to be all these, like even the Korean series, you're blown away by the production, by the companies behind them. Would you say they're independent? Well, in a way, but some of these companies are like huge media companies. And I'm actually happy because like there's some, let's say, independent creators who actually are getting picked up by companies. So maybe they're not so independent anymore, but they're starting to get actual work. So like I applaud every independent creator, but I'm also happy when they're not so independent and they actually earn a living from it.
Yeah, young kids. And I think we can all agree that it's absolutely not about how much money you make with your series afterwards, but that you made it anyhow, what other people thought about the idea, and fulfilled your vision without filters in between. That's the main point. So, but Young told us yesterday you did a branded web series. Is it still independent?
Yeah. Because big company, right? I mean, they have their own brand, why they make other company brand, So, I mean, the branded web series in the beginning, it's kind of like we didn't know how to make it. But that's why we put all the product, or we tell the story, focus on, their product. But then we realized, we show them customers, and then they don't like them much. Actually, it was like a side effect, So actually, less show is the better, because they like the storyline and they like the logo or whatever company, So then right now, even branded web series, nobody knows. Oh, there was a brand. That was cool. So so now it's like corporation company. They understand, Because in the beginning they said, hey, I want to see the script. Okay, here is a company name or company profile here. But right now, they don't say, okay, you guys creator, why don't you make a really good story, love story, that's fine. Then I'll give you money. Then in the beginning or in the end, put just a nice logo, the company logo. So that's why they got
Story
the.
stayed the same anyhow.
So that's what everybody they are independent company doing branded. So that's why like Korean has some independent like they're struggling really hard to get the funding. Even though some government have a budget for web series, also VR right now they have a huge budget for the VR 360, but still not for everyone. They have to be selected. So also even though government choose, but need some like I don't know, some kind of experience, or that's why it's good to Webfest have some award or some then have a proof, right, and then they can easily get the fund. So I hope maybe right now only for the Korean web series, but there's a lot of also I think about 10-20 expat filmmakers they living in Seoul. They make web series. So also they showing in Seoul. So they, I think some of them they also got Korean money, government money too. So I think even Korean government they gonna give you money if you, as long as you are in Seoul. So okay, finish. That's the possibility, and I think that's the only independent. I mean, the major is only make just the feature film, the theater huge. Also, they just only count just a few weeks at the movie theater. That's it. After that, right, the DVDs die. Also, then right after that, also go to IPTV. I don't know. You guys say that IPTV too? The internet movie, internet TV, yeah. Yeah, streaming, yeah. So and that's it. But the web series, we have limitation. We can keep doing. We can the smartphone, also the YouTube, also Korean their own the streaming service. Also, that's why I try to make a deal. Run the Webfest at the same time. I want to each individual creator the content and then the VOD deal. So that's why I'm meeting, trying to sell some you guys and for only Korean and Chinese market. So hopefully you guys are, just like, give me some, opportunity to sell. I don't know how much because nobody done that sales right yet. But I'm gonna make it deal. So actually we are talking about the price. That's a surprise, amazing. It's, not free anymore. But they said price is pretty low. But I asked them pretty expensive. I was like, hey, each one with 10 minutes, $5 or $100. Then less than I'm not gonna sell. And then those guys at the meeting they kind of laughed. You know what? Because nobody ready to pay you web series. But still they didn't say no because they like our content. Those guys like trick, try to, the price to cut it down. I know that they need our content. So I'm kind of waiting, let them maybe price will go up and then, no, not good enough, maybe, okay, let's meet next week. Then maybe price later on.
Okay, that's one thing I would like to hear very briefly, because I would love to open the round for questions from the audience as well. But I need to know quite briefly from each of you, what is specific, we will get deeper into this in the follow-up panel, but let's hear from the internationals, what is specific about the German web series? You like them, you told me.
Yeah, tough question. How long have you got? Yeah. I can talk for hours. I study Fritz Lang's film so many years. So like the German style, like in one word, the cool, twisted story. It's like very touchy topic sometimes about techno, about twisted zombies and like people like the German carpe diem as well. But it's cool because compared to the French stories, I think between like art-wise between Germany and France, philosophy, culture, and like films, books. We always follow. Like German was like step. They were like beyond French. French artists at one stage, and then you got this kind of humor, like different kind of like cold culture, but very warm in the same time. But as a French, sometimes it's very difficult at the start, because like it's like what happened there, It's like then you have the you have different music as well. Kraftwerk, for example, like was a big influence on films, I think, in Germany and elsewhere. But I think like the cold German touch with the warmness inside.
Yeah. Wow.
That's not very useful.
No, I just want to use 1 minute about the independence thing. It has been a big debate, a big thing this year. I want to say be careful. Nobody here can tell you if your web series is independent. Only you can say that. I mean, just watch yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that your web series is independent. It means that you did what you wanted to do, but also considering the audience. I mean, it's not doing what you do is being independent. It's doing what you do without outside interferences, without someone telling you what to do or what to not do. And for reasons that you don't understand or reasons that you do not accept, and that you finally accept for reasons that are outside your project. This is what is not being independent. But do not believe that being independent is being alone. Do not believe that being independent is being poor. One of the greatest success of television is an independent series. It's called The Simpsons. Why? Because its creator, when he signed a contract with the Fox, said, I want this to be written that Fox has no right to tell me what to do, whatsoever and whenever. And Fox tried 10 times to have this guy sign the same contract without this line. He said, no, it's still valid. I'm going to sign the contract only with this. And they still make a lot of money with that. I mean, if he did not have signed this contract with this line, The Simpsons, you would say, the shittiest show in the world. Really, this is what you would say right now from this guy. So this is what is being independent. It's just watch yourself in the mirror and say, yes, I did what I could, I did what I wanted to do, and I thought about what it is about. The audience. Thinking about the audience, yes, you have the right to correct your show. You have the right to say, no, I'm not going to shoot this scene. No, I'm not going to edit this like that. Because you're thinking about the audience. This is being independent. But when you think about your producer, when you think about your distributor, or any bullshit or crap that they can tell you about what the audience is, what these kids are watching, what his wife likes or thinks. I mean, I got that for 25 years of my life, and I couldn't get it anymore. So, being independent, it's not being poor, it's not being alone, it's not being a rebel. It's just a necessity. If you want to be a director, then at some point you have to be independent in your life, and that's it.
What should I talk about next? German series? Yeah? Some?
If you want to.
Yes, I mean, that's one thing that I found in digging for German series, because you don't see them in so many webfests around the world, and so it was like, okay, we're going to be in Berlin, we're going to find all of these people, and we're going to dig everyone out and see these shows, because that's been a problem, I think, in Germany, is there's no central platform or everywhere, you know, without fishing through YouTube, where do you go to find this stuff? And what I found more than anything is the excitement and the beauty of the storytelling. Not always beauty, that's kind of an extreme word, but but I think the telling of different stories and the voice that's starting to come out, especially in web series and that's developing in German series, is really spot on. It's quick, it's funny, it's being told in a way that's shot really, really beautiful, and that's finding it's a clear finding of a voice. It's not being made for what's supposed to be on television on Thursday at 8 o'clock. You know, it's the stories that aren't heard and that you want to see more of, and that's what's really exciting for me about what we're seeing.
I like a bunker. It's a great idea, by the way, because you guys have a history, and then that history come to as combined with the media. It's a great idea. Even though World War III, but still we can make a film inside the bunker, very safe. You know, it was amazing. I like the German web series. Very, you know what? I mean, in the Europe, you guys are all like. I thought was the whole Europe is the one country. Also, like I thought was the all same style, but actually that was wrong because last year I went to a few countries and start to watch all different you guys and also a lot of good stuff from last year KWFest the submission from Europe. Also a lot of rejection from American web series. So European is really interesting. Also the politics is pretty good, and also you guys have also great Korean don't have. Let's say sci-fi or some level like horror. Also Korean. I mean they're not used to just only image or whatever. I mean they're very simple people. They want a love story first, and without love story really hard to So. They kind of like used to the romance story. That's why it's called web drama. But the German, you guys have very strong, like the break the old stereotype. So that's why like even this year, a lot of general audience they bought a ticket for you guys to watch you guys a web series, and then actually they love it. So hopefully next year we're expecting even more web series from German. That'd be great. Make all the Korean. Also Chinese, Japanese audience are waiting for you guys' amazing work. So.
It's funny because we thought Asia was the same country too. Anyways, I just wanted to ask all of you, I know series from Germany from 2016, we saw some today, from 2015, maybe even 2014. Does anyone know or have a web series from 2013? Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I thought. Or before? 2012? Okay, 2011? Or before? Wow. we have to talk. We have to talk afterwards. Okay, I was doing my thesis, PhD on web series. I started researching web series, and I said, there's this hole in the middle of Europe. Why? Why can't I find any German web series? And then I figured it also had to do with the crisis, because in South Europe, there were web series popping up everywhere because we're all unemployed, so we have lots of time. So it's perfect. A lot of aspiring filmmakers without a job, what are they gonna do? They're gonna tell their story about roommates doing nothing and trying to be filmmakers. So then a lot of web series popped up. But about the German web series, I was so surprised. I didn't see any web series before 2012. I'm sorry. But I did see when I was studying them, and yeah, I was really surprised. And still, the northern part of Europe, it's really difficult to get web series from all these northern European countries. And I think it's something that will eventually come. We have like a Norwegian series this year, but it's slowly coming, and it's also a matter of different in each country. And I guess the thing about the German web series is that there was nothing in the German panorama for me, and then all of a sudden, boom, 3 festivals, a lot of web series, like great quality, and I'm like, what? Like you guys are gonna be like, in 10 years, it's gonna be like German Webfest, other festival. If you continue this path, so please do.
So broken economy makes creative. Nice. Okay, so I'm asking Sebastian, do we have time for questions or?
Ask them while having a beer, maybe.
Yeah? Okay, so approach them directly and ask anything you want.
If you have a beer, we'll listen more carefully to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank all of you. We will be back for the next panel in approximately half an hour with Michael Söth and Dennis Albrecht.
I think they're